There is a place where you can sell digital files, and it's not Etsy. That's right, you can make passive income or side hustle money by selling on Creative Fabrica. However, there's a ton of information on YouTube, and it can be overwhelming trying to figure out how it all works. So in this video, I'm going to break down what Creative Fabrica is, how you can sell on Creative Fabrica, and how you can make digital designs that you can sell for money. If you are a complete beginner, then you are in the right place. Let's jump in. Now, if we're meeting for the first time, my name is Zen Watercooler and the channel is called Crafty Stax. So make sure to subscribe because I have lots and lots of videos about selling digital designs and making things like digital crafting and designs like SVG files. Okay, so you may never have heard of Creative Fabrica before, and that's totally okay. This is what the website looks like. It's creativefabrica.com. I will put a link in the video description below to this website. And basically what it is at the top, you've got all these different options here: graphics, fonts, crafting work, even things like needlework. You can even take classes. So what you can do is you can either purchase an individual graphic. So here's different graphics that I've just got on my main page that they're kind of promoting. Or I can just go up here to the graphics and I can pick on, for example, illustrations. And this will show me a bunch of different illustrations. And it'll also show the prices. Now there's a big sale going on at different times of the year. So depending on when you're watching this, this happens to be around Christmas time. So they've got a big Christmas sale on. So normally these are $50, $8, $20. And you can see there's 90% off sales, 50% off sales, that kind of thing. So the idea here is if I wanted to buy something, let's say I'll just click on this first one. Christmas peeking around the corner bundle, 30 different designs. And they feature little Christmas characters peeking around a corner. This would be perfect if you're doing things like Christmas cards, or if you're doing posters, or even t-shirt designs. So if I wanted to buy this, I could simply add it to the cart and I would pay $5 US. And I could use this now pretty much forever. I've got commercial license, I've purchased it one time, and I can use it. You can see here there's over 1,000 people have added this to their favorites. So the thing is, there's a human being that's selling this design. Okay, so there's a shop, and you can see the shop right here. So Jane Creative is the person selling this awesome design. And when I click on their profile, and you can see right here, they've got 1,120 designs, over 1,000 illustrations, a few backgrounds, a couple AI generated, and some illustrations. So they've got these huge bundles that they're selling. And you can see they've got quite a number of favorites and quite a big number of followers. You can click the follow designer button as a client and you can follow along. So this is a typical seller. They're a little on the high end, if I'm being perfectly honest. They've got 8,000 followers, but they've got some really nice bundles. You can see here they've branded their store, very consistent uploads. They've got very consistent thumbnails, and they've got a following of people. Oh, this is cool. 12 New Year gnomes. So yeah, they've got a lot of great looking designs here. So again, $5. You can download. And sometimes you'll see stuff for free. They'll have free stuff. They'll have sales. So the clients get a lot of different stuff. There's actually a freebie section right over here. So even if you're brand new to Creative Fabrica and you'd like to try this out as a client, I suggest you go over here to the freebie section, click on all freebies, and then from here you can pick on something and you can download it. So I'm not even logged in. I'm just completely pretending like I'm a brand new client, introducing before the rainbow playful font. I can download it right here for free and I can try it out. So these are completely free to use, comes with commercial license, and you can basically make things with these fonts, with these illustrations, with these designs. Okay, so here's big picture how Creative Fabrica works. You have the client, they go onto Creative Fabrica, and let's say they purchase something like a font. So what they're gonna do is pay money to Creative Fabrica. It could be $5 US, could be $1, $10, whatever. And they're gonna be able to download that font and they're gonna be able to use it. That font, however, was created by a person who has created the font, they've uploaded it to Creative Fabrica, and they've listed it for sale, and they get a commission. So that's one way you can make money on Creative Fabrica, is when the client downloads one of your designs, you get a commission. It's as if you've made a sale. The other way you can do it is the client can purchase an all-access subscription. It's like a monthly subscription. Could be $5 a month, $10 a month for the subscription. And then the person who's uploading the designs, they get passive income. And the income that they get is really a fraction. It's the number of listings they've got over the total number of listings on Creative Fabrica. So admittedly, this isn't going to be a lot of money. If you're first starting out, you might make 2 cents a month or 5 cents a month. But if you've got a lot of listings, you might make $10, $20, even $100 a month. And again, this isn't based on the downloads. This is just based on your actual subscription revenue that's pooled. Creative Fabrica takes a cut, and then the artists take a cut. So let's ask ourselves, why would you want to sell on Creative Fabrica versus Etsy? And look, I would recommend that you sell on both if you want. Creative Fabrica, though, does offer some specific advantages versus other platforms. One, Creative Fabrica is completely free to list. You could upload design after design and bundle after bundle, font after font, and it's not going to cost you anything. Number two, they actually pay you to list. So this is really hard for people to wrap their heads around, and I get comments on YouTube all the time. People say that's not true. It absolutely is true. If you have a certain number of listings, more than 0, on Creative Fabrica, you will make some sort of passive income. Now again, it might be pennies if you've only got 5 listings a month, but the more you upload, the more you list, the more passive income you will get. Number 3, you just have to worry about uploads. You don't have to worry about any customer service. And this is huge if you're like me, if you're introverted and you don't really want to deal with customer service all day long, then listing on Creative Fabrica can be a great option because you don't have to worry about taking, one guy asked me once if they could mail me the design, and it's like, what? Like, what are you even talking about? So sometimes listing on Etsy can be a bit of a headache. But listing on Creative Fabrica, you don't have to deal with any of that stuff. Number 4, the variety of products that Creative Fabrica lists is incredible. I'm going to show you very quickly here just a fraction of what Creative Fabrica actually offers. And these are designs that you yourself could make and upload. Okay, probably the most obvious and intuitive one is under graphics, and it's illustrations. So I'm going to click on that, and we're going to see a whole bunch of different illustrations. A PNG file is a file with a transparent background. So you can click the download button, you can add it to the cart. You can download for free if it's part of the freebie section. You can see here on the left-hand side, this is a nice looking thumbnail because it shows it's a transparent background, and it shows you the size of the file, and it gives you some project ideas. So you want to be thinking about the consumer when you're doing a thumbnail. This is a cool looking thumbnail here. And as you can see, I'm not alone on this. Over 2,000 people have added this to their favorites. Lisa Smith is the store. So I would recommend you take time, get a coffee, and look at the people's profiles that are selling on Creative Fabrica. Here you can see they're over 21,000 favorites. That means 21,000 times a person or persons has clicked the favorite button on one of their designs, and over 1,500 followers. And here you can see she's got 560 illustrations. That's not a ton, by the way. If you were to do one illustration a day, it would take you about 2 years to get this many designs up and running. So I think this is a great looking store. I love these thumbnails, by the way. You can see on the right hand side, there's the actual design, and then on the left, there's a mock-up. So I think this is a really good looking store, good price points. And you know, not a lot of people are going to be purchasing this for $2.10, but if you have the all access subscription, there's really no limit to what you can download. It truly is all access. So people can just go in here and just grab stuff all they want. If you have the all access subscription, then this is what it looks like. So this is my personal account. I'm going to go here to graphics. I'm going to go to illustrations, and I'm going to click on the exact same one, this baby Highland cow Christmas design. And you'll see for me, I don't have an option to purchase it because I already have the all access subscription. I can just download whatever I want. I can actually go up here to my profile, and I can click on my downloads, and I can see I've got all of the downloads that I've downloaded over the months and years, and it just goes on and on and on. It just sits here forever, and you can see I've got page after page after page of downloads that I've got. So clients, this is a really nice feature because you just go to my profile, my downloads, and you can see everything you've ever downloaded, and you don't have to keep it all on your computer. You can just have it sitting here. Here's another one. PNGs is listed on the left-hand side. And these are all by definition clear backgrounds. These are great looking designs for t-shirts. There's also bundles. So I'm going to click over on the right-hand side on the top menu, bundles. Bundles are extremely popular because you can get massive, massive bundles for relatively inexpensive amounts. Here's one that's listing for $5. Now again, I've got the all access subscription, so it's all free for me. It's all included. But these are tons and tons of t-shirt designs that I can download. And it's really easy to download. I just click on one of these 3 bars on the right-hand side. I'll just click the green bar, and it will pop up here with a zip file, 199 megabytes for the first one. When I click on the second bundle, you'll see here it's 200 megabytes for the second one. So these bundles If you have enough designs, you'll have to upload them as multiple zips, but that's okay. You want to have something here that's easy for the client to see. This is a great looking thumbnail. And as you can see here, the shop is down below. I click on View Profile, and we can see this is a very popular store as well, over 2,000 followers. Lots and lots of t-shirt designs. You can click on the left-hand side here and under the shop, and if I click on t-shirt designs, for example, I'll only see t-shirt designs. If I click on crafts, I will only see crafts. So you can list your designs under different categories. Another one under graphics that I think is underutilized is backgrounds. So if you're good with digital mockups and digital designing, like Photoshop, Inkscape, Affinity Photo, Affinity Design, here's a neat one. This is digital paper. Why would you use a digital paper, you might wonder? Well, you can use them for Christmas cards, for example, invitations. And so again, I can just download this. Over 700 people have added this to their favorites. Again, I highly recommend clicking on the people's stores, and you can see exactly what they're selling, because it can give you inspiration. It's like, oh, this is what a successful store looks like. You'll see very consistent thumbnails throughout. Okay, so let's talk here specifically about how to make a digital file. There's many different ways, and I'm going to show you just one example in this video after I walk through the different types. The first way that you can make a digital file is using Inkscape, and Inkscape is a very popular free vector software tool. You can also just manually draw a picture, like with a pen or with a felt marker, and then you can take a photograph of it and you can scan it into Inkscape, and you could use that as a vector, for example. You can also draw the file using a digital pen, so they call it a stylus, and this is like an Apple Pencil, or you can use your finger on an iPad. There's many different ways you can digitally draw a design. You can also use artificial intelligence. On my channel, Crafty Stax, I have a few different videos highlighting different artificial intelligence mechanisms that you can use. Some of them are completely free, some of them are subscription based, but you can create some really stunning artwork using artificial intelligence. You can also take photographs. So a really popular niche inside of Creative Fabrica are product mockups. So you can basically take a photograph of a blank hoodie or a blank t-shirt, a blank coffee mug, and then somebody can stick their product in it and use it as a mock-up. You can also manipulate existing photos or illustrations using Photoshop. So you could take a public domain asset or a photograph that you've taken yourself, you could strip out the background, and you can make a cool looking illustration that way. You can also write words and use graphics, and you can create basically pages in a book that people can use then as a digital download. Okay, so I'm going to walk through the method on how you can create a digital file. I'm using Inkscape, and this is the first example that I was showcasing earlier. So I'm going to go File and Open, and I'm going to open up a picture of a public domain image that I grabbed online. So this is a picture of a butterfly, and now what I'm going to do is create a vector from it. So I'm simply going to click it. I'm going to go up here to the top and go Path, Trace Bitmap. And over on the right, I'm going to have an option here for this brightness cutoff. I'm going to click Update Preview. We can see there's the top butterfly, there's the bottom butterfly. I can make the threshold more or less, so I could change this design by making it darker. I'm going to go right up to 100, for example. I'll click Update Preview. It'll be completely black. If I bring it down to 0 and I click Update Preview, it'll be completely white. In other words, it won't be really tracing very much at all. So a nice way to start is around 50%. And click Update Preview, and you'll see, okay, the top one is pretty dark, so I'm going to scale that back a little bit, go down to about 39, update, oh, that looks better. So you can monkey around with the threshold here. There's also other details that are more advanced. You can play with those. They really depend on each individual design, so there's no point really in me showing you. You just have to kind of figure out for yourself. I usually just leave these as defaulted, click Update Preview, and then I'll click Apply, and that will render a vector based on the trace. So here I'm going to drag this over, and we can see now we have a butterfly on the top and a butterfly on the bottom. I'm going to click the original design and click Delete, and that leaves us with the actual vector file. Now this is a vector, and the reason I can tell it's a vector is over on the left there's an Edit Paths by Node. When I click on it, I'll see all the vector node points inside this design. Now I can get rid of some of them. So for example, when I zoom in, I'm going to see that there is text, and I may want to get rid of that text. So I'm going to click Edit Paths by Node. I can then highlight what I want to get rid of and click the Delete key. That just simply deletes it out. I'll do the same thing here at the top. There's some text here right at the top. Moths and butterflies, Denton. I'm going to click Edit Paths by Node. I'll highlight that. and I'll click delete. Down at the bottom there's some text as well. I'll highlight that, I'll click delete. That leaves me now with 2 butterflies that are vectors. Now these vectors are very messy. There's a ton of nodes on here. So the reason people typically use vectors is because they want to use them for cut files, but there's way too many nodes on here to be an effective cut file. So there's an option at the top. I can go path and I can go simplify. And that will radically reduce the number of nodes. You could do this again and again if you wanted. I'm just going to do it once here in this video. We can see now we've still got a good looking vector here. So what you can do now is I'll click Edit Paths by Node. I'll delete out the bottom one. That just leaves the top one. So what I can do now with this remaining vector is I can just save it as a vector. I can go File, Save As, and I can save it now as these different file types. SVG file. There's all these different file types that I can save. I typically just use the first one, which is SVG, is the extension on the file. And that stands for Scalable Vector Graphic. You can also change the color if you wanted as well. Now I recommend selling mostly black vectors because people don't want to have to try to monkey with the colors. But if you wanted to save multicolored, for example, I could save this as an SVG file, and then I could export this as a PNG file, and I could make it red. I could make it blue. I could even make it white, for example. It could be hard to see on this background, but you could make it all different colors and you could sell it as a multicolored file as well. So if I wanted to sell this as, say, a blue PNG file, what I'll do now is on the right-hand side inside of Inkscape, there's this little out arrow and it says export this document as a PNG image. And when I do that, I'm going to see the path is listed here at the bottom. PNG file is listed as the type. I could also export it as a JPEG if I wanted. And then there's an export button right there. Now what I recommend you do is if you're exporting as a PNG file, you want to make this file bigger typically. So I'm going to make this quite a bit bigger. And the DPI is the dots per inch over on the right. I'm going to change that to 300. So I highly recommend when you're selling a PNG file that you sell a 300 dot per inch PNG file. This is about 5,000 by 3,500. That's fine. I'm going to click the export button. And now it's going to export this design. So this would look cool on a t-shirt or a coffee mug, for example. You can also add text into Inkscape as well. There's a little text button here on the left. I can then drag a rectangle and I can type in here. I'm going to do 60 font instead. I'll make the box quite a bit bigger so you can see it. And there it is there. There's the butterfly. And I can make this quite a bit larger as well. I'll hold down the Control key to lock in the aspect ratio and I can make this quite a bit bigger. So I could export this now as a design, just like that. Control A selects everything. And now you can see here on the right-hand side, you can export the document, the page, and the page is this white outline. So I don't want to export the page in this case. The selection, because I've selected both, or you could do custom as well. You can export a specific size. So I recommend either exporting the document or exporting the selection, depending on what you've selected. I love using Inkscape. I've got a ton of different tutorials on my channel, so you can really get good at using Inkscape. It's completely free to use, and you can export some really cool designs. Okay, let's jump in and actually list a file, digital file for sale on Creative Fabrica. So here's an example of a store. I've got a couple different stores on Creative Fabrica, and what you want to do when you've got a store is you're going to go up to My Store, and then you're going to go to Dashboard. So here's an example of one of my stores. And then at the top, you can add new designs. And I'm going to add a new graphic right there. And then from here, you can put in the product name. You can select off of the category. I typically go here to illustrations. You can put in the price on what you're going to sell. So let's say, for example, $2. You can also make it a free product. Now, why would you want to do that? You might be screaming into the iPad. And the answer is, a free product helps promote your store, so somebody can try one of your many designs for free and go, oh wow, this guy's really got good designs, and then they would hopefully then come to your store and they would purchase it. You can put in a description. I recommend with the product tags you try to max them out, try to put in as many usable tags as possible. And then down here you can put in your product images, and then this is your actual zip file right here. This is what you're going to list for sale that somebody can then download. Okay, so I'm inside of Windows Explorer and I've grabbed my PNG file. I'm just going to rename it. I'm going to right click it, rename, and I'm just going to call it Butterfly. So we can see here, this is my PNG file. It's 5466 by 3542. And I'm going to right click and I'm going to go send to zip file. And this is going to make a zip file now. So inside the zip file, when I double click it, is my butterfly design. So this file, this butterfly zip file, that's what I'm going to be listing on Creative Fabrica. So inside of Creative Fabrica, I'm going to go drag and drop the file right here. I'm going to click on this, and then I'm going to click on my zip file, and it's going to upload it right there. You can see it's pretty tiny, 790 kilobytes. That's under 1 megabyte because there's just a one file inside it. Then I would put in my thumbnails, my product tags, and then at the very bottom, I would click Submit. I would also click the terms and conditions. I could consider this as a freebie. If you do this, they're going to pay you $20. So there are a few different fields you would fill out. And then at the very bottom, you would click the Submit button. Now this will go to Creative Fabrica for review first. So there is a quality control aspect to it. And then your item would be listed within a day or 2 or 3. Takes a little bit of time for them to review it. Okay, so to open a store on Creative Fabrica is pretty easy to do. On the main page, when you're not logged in, so you're brand new, I would recommend you sign up first. And then when you sign up, you can then open a store. It's right there. And it's pretty easy to do. It'll walk you through exactly what you can do. Click Open Your Shop. You're going to have to log in, and then you can fill in the required fields, and you can tell Creative Fabrica that you'd like to open a store. I really hope you found this walkthrough helpful. I've got a lot of videos on my channel. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Here's another video on how you can supercharge your graphic design journey for free.